Am I wrong for refusing to support my wife through her diagnosis after her infidelity? My wife and I had a pretty normal marriage. No kids, both employed, and really happy together. For 99% of our relationship, we didn't have any major problems. We made time for each other, so on and so forth. She recently went away with her friend for a girls' trip. The first 2 days after she came back, everything was fine. And on the third, we went to dinner with this friend and her boyfriend. Dinner went well, came home, and went to bed. Wife woke me up in the middle of the night crying there was something she had to tell me. Long story short, she had cheated on me the entire trip, and her friend had cheated on her boyfriend as well. Apparently, the dinner together caused her to have an attack of conscience because she messaged my wife after I had fallen asleep telling her that she was going to come clean to her partner, and my wife had to tell me as well or she would. We talked, yelled, cried. I spent most of the night sick, told me it was just a horribly stupid decision, and was perfectly happy with me, which honestly makes it worse. Why risk a happy marriage for an affair? It wasn't my fault, the usual. I've been staying at my sister's place while we figure out the divorce. Before this went down, as she had been scheduled for tests and scans for what we thought were relatively non-serious health problems, turns out we were wrong, as I was just contacted last week by her cousin telling me a scan revealed cancer. I got in touch with my wife and we talked. She proved her diagnosis and filled in some details. She was understandably terrified and begged me to come back, to talk to her, hug her, give her a chance to be there with her. I told her I wish her all the best. I'm very sorry what she's going through and know she's strong enough to make it through. But while I'd help financially from a distance, I wasn't physically going back. They, now her, have been harassing me, telling me to man up and go to her. My own friends are split 50-50. I don't want to go back. Before anyone posts that this is probably why she cheated card, no, we had a good marriage. We had a sit-down talk every month to discuss anything wrong. We were solid. She just chose to take a chance on a quick thrill, despite knowing cheating is 100% deal breaker for me. She never even planned to tell me until her friend forced her. Why, I certainly don't think anyone deserves this, and I am sorry it happened to her. In my opinion, her diagnosis doesn't change our situation. I feel it'll be harder on both of us with me being there, knowing I won't forgive her when it's over. It feels like prolonging the inevitable, and I feel like my obligation to her ended when she chose to betray our marriage. She has family and friends, so she isn't alone. I care about the woman I thought I married, but I no longer love who she turned out to be. So I feel it'd be unfair to both of us for me to be there. I'm not trying to punish her. My heart just isn't in it anymore. Am I the a-hole? I absolutely 100% agree with OP. And for her, the thing is, like, she said, oh, she didn't even say, I went one night and I was drunk and, I was really drunk and I just happened to cheat one time. She literally said, I've been cheating the whole entire trip. Back to back to back to back. And she only told him because of her own guilty conscience. And I'm sorry she got cancer. Obviously, cancer is always like the worst news somebody can get. But at the end of the day, what does that change? It's still, the marriage is still over. Am I wrong for telling my husband he failed to support me after my miscarriage? I, 32 female, had a miscarriage 2 weeks ago. I was 9 weeks along. This would have been my second child. I have one son. He's 12. I hate when people do that. He's 20 months. How old would he be? If 12 is I don't know. Anyways, my husband, 35 male, is a wonderful person. He usually goes above and beyond to be a supportive husband. He's an amazing father. I'm very grateful to have him in my life. After my miscarriage, I explicitly told him that I didn't want people coming into our home until I've healed physically and was feeling better mentally. He agreed to this. I typically have my friend, 33 female, come over every week for a few hours so she can spend time with my son. They are very close. My husband told my friend that these visits would need to stop until I expressed I was ready to see her. She said she understood, sent periodic texts to me to offer support, and hasn't come over since being asked to give me space. The problem is with his father, 75 male. He lives across town and comes over once a week to do his laundry every single Sunday. This is a man I genuinely do not find enjoyable to be around. He has made derogatory comments about my appearance, my family, my relationship with his son, and essentially every little thing I do. I've never heard him say anything kind about me in the 13 years I've been with his son. He has no manners. He takes food from my toddler, calls my toddler unkind names, says he's playing around, and shows no genuine interest in being a positive grandparent. Kicker, when I was pregnant with my son, he saw we had purchased a car seat and stroller combo. I was pretty far along in my pregnancy, and when we ordered it, he literally had the nerve to say, Don't you think it's a little too soon to buy this stuff? You don't even know if it's going to live. My husband didn't say anything back to that and was pretty bummed when he found out I heard it from the second floor of my house. After my miscarriage, I thought my blanket statement of not wanting to see anyone was enough to get my husband to tell his dad that he would need to do his laundry elsewhere while I recovered. Apparently not. His father has been here every Sunday since my miscarriage. I retreat to my bedroom when he comes over and I stay there until he's gone. I hate this because I want to be able to enjoy my house and son while I recover. Isolating in my room limits the time I have with my son, who has been my best friend through this, and creates a general sense of loneliness. I told my husband today that I feel that he failed to support me. He was bewildered and told me I should have said something about his dad specifically. I told him I feel that my blanket statement of not wanting to have anyone come into the home should have been enough for him to know his dad was included in that, especially because he knows the history I have with his dad. He also knows how much his dad's comments about my first pregnancy has played a role in how I feel right now when I think about having to see him. My husband told me it's my job to specify what I mean. I told him I felt it was unfair for him to expect me to hold his hand through what I felt like was an obvious request and one that would be easy to honor. Am I the a-hole for expecting my husband to understand that his dad was included in the blanket statement? I don't think OP is the a-hole at all. If my friend who's kind to me, nice to me, is good to me all the time can't come while I'm going through this, what would make you think that your terrible dad would be one to come into my house? You know what I mean?